I'm Jake Schriner.
I'm Bob Nelson.
I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation Podcast. Welcome. Glad you're here.
Very much so.
Fade to black.
We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
And we're back.
Hey.
Well, hello there. It's good to see you tonight. We are back at another little edition of the old podcast. So we're going to start with seeing how everybody's doing. How you doing, Jake?
I'm good, thank you. We were missing a couple people. It feels a little light in here tonight.
A little light, we're a little sleepy.
We're all a little tired, a little sleepy, low energy. It's going to be a very chill podcast now.
Chill. This so you go to sleep to
After Hours Fireside podcast. I'm doing good. My, with Tracy and Kathy being gone, we needed help with Harper, so my folks came out for the past week.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. We had a really good time. Harper is now 4.
Unbelievable.
Birthday on the 20th, and my wife is now, I'm not going to say her age, but she also had a birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so her birthday is...
Happy birthday, Colette.
Yeah. Her birthday is 2 days after Harper, so September's an expensive month for me. It's usually very busy. And then we always end up, we focus on what we're going to do for Harper, what are we doing for the birthday, the gifts, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden that ends, and it's like, I have 48 hours to figure out something for Colette. But no, it's going to be fun. I got her, we're going to a Colorado Avalanche game. And got her tickets to a game, and...
World champion.
Yeah, Stanley Cup champs. Super cool. So that's going to be... We wanted to go to the Blackhawks game. That's, I think, their home opener for, regular season, because they just started, preseason practice games or whatever. The cheapest seat in the room is, $250. Per seat, that's, top level, back against the concrete. You can't see the ice or anything.
That's what they get for winning.
Their home opener is huge.
That's why the Rockies games were so cheap.
Makes a lot
If your team doesn't win, you get to go see.
$7 chair seats up in the...
But no, it was a very nice week with my folks in town. Got to send... And my dad's driving along up to Seattle to see my older brother, so I sent a few steel things that I made for him along the way with my dad. So
nice.
It'll be a nice couple fire pits and then some grilling apparatus that are...
Oh, this is a fireside podcast. The fireside.
But I'm doing very good. So thank you.
Yay, welcome, man. Glad that you're here as always. Bob Nelson, how are you, sir?
I'm pretty okay.
He's pretty okay.
Not
real.
Yeah,
okay.
It was one of those days that I thought I'd shaken the entire COVID fatigue thing, but it just kind of waves in and out all day.
Oh,
so
really?
It's really annoying. I would have really liked to have gone for a run after I got home, but no, that didn't happen. I laid down. I didn't sleep, but I just laid down. So, but other than that, I'm doing fine. It was a good day at work. Nice, easy pace. Everything worked, which was unusual. That's sorry. That's I've been having issues with our advisors, but that's another story. So, and then this is garden related, but I'm going to drop it now. For dinner, I fingerlinged the potatoes that we harvested yesterday. Kind of pan fried them a little bit, and then.
Were they as good as we thought they were going to be?
Yeah, they had. It's a very different texture from that usual.
Yeah.
They were they were, I don't know, just creamy. So it was really soft all the way through. Usually it's the way I do it, it always works out fine, but it just felt better. So
nice.
So did that, and then everything else was garden related as well. It was a vegetarian dinner, so I'll need meat when I get home.
Need some protein.
But I did a cucumber, tomato, I don't even know what to call it, but vinegar with a vinaigrette dressing kind of thing that I made, just whipped up real quick, and some mozzarella cheese, and the cucumbers were from one of the other gardeners. And then the tomatoes were, some of them were ours, and then the other one was a leftover from my dad's that we had for a BLT the other day. So it was just a really nice meal, pleasant, and very
Follow
easy.
us for more recipes
and
suggestions.
So it's balsamic vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, yeah. So anyway, it worked out really well. It was just tasty, and it just tasted better knowing that there was a lot of close hands that prepared it.
Yeah, a lot of love and time.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then the funny thing about the potatoes is they were a freebie from Robin, our next door neighbor at the garden, and he just had a couple extras, and we tossed them in there. And then one day the plant parts of it disappeared.
Yeah,
so,
they just died.
Yeah, and Jake asked me if I pulled them, and I'm like, no, I thought you might have. And I am not kidding, but there were still potatoes there when I harvested. So yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right, somebody's got to ask me.
Johnny,
Oh, thanks.
how are you?
Yeah, thank you. It's so awkward when I have to ask myself.
Just interject yourself. And hey, guys, by the way, I'm
feeling. Oh my goodness. If the camera really was zoomed in, it would see, just like you guys know, the redness in my eyes. Oh my goodness. But I'm doing well. See, what not everybody knows is that even Sunday morning, I mean, Leona's been gone, for a week, and I had to pick her up from the airport, early Sunday morning, and I had taken a very short nap, and this always happens on Saturday, not intentionally, but I fell asleep on the couch late afternoon. I don't even know how long it was. I don't know if it was 30 minutes or if it was an hour. It was just enough to keep me from being able to go to sleep. So I didn't even get to sleep until sometime after 1:30 in the morning Saturday.
Ooh.
And then having to get up to get to the airport by 6:30 and then be ready for Sunday.
Sure,
So I'm amazed that I did anything Sunday.
And like nothing went wrong. You didn't forget anything. I didn't forget anything at all.
No, I don't know.
There you go.
Grace of
No
God.
technical issues.
But you add to that, now you never catch up on sleep. That's a fallacy. Of course, it's in our heads. We think it's just any given day, but I'm still a little weary coming into today. And you know what? I don't feel bad because almost everybody at the school, staff-wise, now the kids, they were all pretty chill today. I don't know what was going on. But almost every adult I spoke to are coming, I'm just sleepy today. I'm just kind of tired today, or whatever. Luis said this. I never see this with him, but he was kind of quiet in the morning. And as we went, he goes, "Yeah, this would have been a day I should have stayed home." He said. So, but all right, man. Well, anyway, but the day was good, and this was that day. It's homecoming for Rangeview High School, which is the feeder school for Arkansas. So every year, I don't know what other elementary schools do, but there's this big, it's not a pep rally, but they come in, and we call it a parade, where they come in, the band is there, all the football players, and, all the pep squad peoples, and the mascot. Have you guys ever seen the Rangeview mascot? Oh my gosh, they're raiders. And it's this giant head, it's like a skeleton head with a pirate hat. But anyway, so they get off the bus and they go around the whole school on the outside. The kids have all made, pom-poms and stuff. We have bags that we have prepared for all those kids, those high schoolers. They come through as a big thank you bag. Hey, it's like a cheer 'em on. It's got goodies in it of all kinds of stuff. Just way over the top, but a lot of fun, right? So that happened today. Outside, I got a little sunshine, but it was good. I needed vitamin D because I was just kind of like, So what else happened with that today? But anyway, long day. Oh, this is the day I'm also doing an after-school intramural deal, so we're doing kickball with kids who, it's unbelievable how...
No idea how to play?
Yeah, that's kind of it. We're zeroing in, we're helping them learn. And Luis is actually leading that. He does a really good job with that, but it's still just hilarious, as the day goes on. And all kinds of stuff, there are all kinds of stories I could tell, hilarious things from this past week. Particularly, I'll just tell this one real fast, okay? I know this has nothing to do with church, that's nothing. But there's a lady at the school, and in the break room, we're having a late lunch, and Lori's actually in there, the principal's in there, and this lady's in here. I won't even call her by name. But we found out in the course of this conversation that she absolutely hates musicals. If it's a musical of any kind, she just hates it. It makes her skin crawl. And as this information is being revealed, Lori looks over and goes, how is it that all these years I did not know this information? I kind of hate to tell you, I just bought us tickets for some musical thing. She was taking her and taking Ryan to, and she goes, no, I'll do it. I'm fine if I have a lot of wine or something like that. So we had this whole conversation about what's the deal with it? He goes, and this is what I always hear about musicals. It's like, nobody just bursts into song in real life. And it's weird, but then I found out she liked music videos. I said, think of it as, the idea isn't that they're really busting out in song. It's kind of like a dreamy way to communicate.
Transitioning to MTV.
Yeah, it's like music videos interspersed together with a storyline. But anyway, she goes, well, I can kind of see it. But I said, but you know what? I'm almost at it. I said, but the real issue is, you don't know what I know. You just don't get. And then Lori jumped up and started. And Luis, of all people, he stood up and he did one of these dance things. So it was like, here's your musical in real life. And she was like, ah.
That's great.
But that kind of stuff has happened all week long. So it's been tough, it's been busy, but it's also been fun and hilarious. All right, that's my story for today.
Yeah, that's funny.
I guess I probably have about 5 more I can tell, but I don't have time.
I promise I won't break out into anything. I kind of feel her pain. I don't like older musicals. I've watched several musicals that are more modern and enjoyed the heck out of them. You know, like we did see Joy and I saw a play on Friday that was just amazing. It was not a musical. It was about music because it was called The Piano Teacher, not about the movie. Nowhere related to that. And if you've seen that movie, I'm so sorry. I have no idea. I've never seen it, but I've heard it's bad. Let's go there.
We'll move
anyway,
along.
So we saw last year. We saw Young Frankenstein the musical.
Oh my
and
God.
it was hilarious.
Yeah, musical.
Yeah.
Well, that's an older movie.
Yeah,
it is.
Older movie, but more in that more modern flair. I'm thinking, way back into the 40s and 50s musicals and stuff. I just never Oklahoma. No.
I was in Hello Dolly in high school.
Hey, yeah.
I was Barnaby Tucker. Yeah. I
Well,
was a freshman
again,
and-
I also had to reveal that Leona and I have written a musical.
This is true.
It's a dramatic musical, full orchestration, full everything. So we actually did that. But here's the thing. I also pretty much despise about 60% of musicals, and there are tons that I absolutely love. The consummate older musical is Singing in the Rain. It's just that simple. It's funny. It's hilarious. It knows what it is, and it does it in an entertaining way. But the thing is, anyway, musicals, you either like them or you don't.
Yeah.
It's like if you could take one of the segments that's a song and you would actually enjoy somebody singing that on stage, then you're probably not understanding how these things work.
So true.
Anyway, how do we get off on this? I took us down that road, but anyway,
That's okay.
musicals are great. I've written them.
And you can see the advertisement and promo on YouTube.
Oh, that's true. It's still there. Well, it's funny because we did this thing so long
It's a link in the
ago.
description.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Fireside chat promo. La la la. In fact, you know what? We're going to sing the rest of the podcast. So, Jay, tell me about you. No, I'm just kidding. Anyhow. That's the part that people hate about musicals is when people sing in a weird way about nothing. I'm now going to the bathroom. I'll be back in a moment. Hey.
It's almost like opera. It's like all sung.
Yeah,
I understand a distaste
art
for
form.
opera. I get that.
The art form of opera. Anyway, oh my gosh. I was going to say something about all that, but I think probably... Yeah, you can see our music. It was called One Mad Christmas. It was a Christmas musical.
It looked hilarious.
And it is hilarious. Oh, what I was going to say about that is that we've had churches across America who have licensed it from us and have done it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
So,
really nice.
fun fact to know and tell, but the thing is, they're kind of out of vogue in church stuff, Every now and then I think that maybe we could reach a segment if we did something in like ran out of space and actually did something like this, something big, bold, and crazy. But I think it would just be a resource drain for our own fun, I'm not sure we would reach the community necessarily, but you could.
There's something about that for your own fun.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. We need a trumpet player. We need a trombone. We need
I play
alto
trumpet.
sax. Do you play some trumpet still?
Oh, yeah. I
Who
can pick
plays?
it up pretty easy. Played it for like 12 years.
All right. We have to
I'd say that blows, but it's actually pretty cool. So, had to drop the pun somewhere.
You're gonna have to. We'll see what happens. Okay, maybe you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. One mad compass. Oh wait. Oh. Oh wait. One mad Christmas. That's what it was. Yeah. All right. So enough of that. Unless you guys want to keep talking about music. Oh my gosh. All right, why don't we shift gears then?
Probably a wise idea.
Yeah. So we started a new series a week ago.
Road trips.
Road trip.
And it's all about we're about to take a major curve on the road in our road trip. But
Going around the bend.
yeah, let's talk about the weekend or whatever else you guys want to talk about. Had a number of things that have happened here lately.
So yeah, so you did start this this new series, the road trip, and the idea being that it's not one. Even though the first two sessions teaching
Yep.
areas have been on Proverbs, it's not about Proverbs.
Yeah, we're about to
But
just jump away from that.
It's everything, several places and passages and areas that talk about being on a path or on the road. So I'm sure they're on the road to Emmaus, and it will pop up there somewhere.
Well, maybe. It was in my list,
Gotcha.
but I preached on the road to Emmaus
Oh, that's true.
an Easter or so ago.
Yep.
And I hate to, and I just thought, like, you know what? I think I've said what I want to say there.
Gotcha. So maybe revisit that one.
Maybe it's like the special features on the DVD. If you'd like to hear about the road to Emmaus, click here. Okay, just kidding.
I feel like this segment or series, it could go on for so long because the New Testament has Jesus is always like on a road.
On the road.
Yeah, he's always on the road, meeting some group of people or doing some lesson, telling some parable. I feel like it's always on the way to somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I had to respond to Mike who was asking about rehearsals tonight. He started to call. I was about to answer it, but I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying.
That's cool.
Because I would have put him on speaker.
Oh, that would have been fun. Especially with Michael.
Yeah. Maybe I should send him a text real fast. You guys talk amongst yourself.
So the base passage for the start of it was Proverbs 1, basically 1 through
7.
1 through 7, and then it dips into 8 and 9 and 10 a little bit. With the 1 through 7, I wish I could remember exactly what they basically. Oh man, it sets out the pace for the knowing and trust. I'm just going to read it. How about that? The fatigue. I'm going to blame it on the fatigue.
Well, I can help you out here a little bit.
Go right ahead.
The first chunk, and just using sort of the road, having a little fun with the road trip idea. The first 7 verses really, I was calling the map. Was the idea that what it's about, what is it all about, and of course, verse 7. Sums it all up with the key or the legend to the map being the beginning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I mean, if you don't know the Lord, if you're not trusting in Him, then you may think you're wise, but ultimately you're not really, because you're not standing on the right foundation to begin with. I used to say all the time to some of my friends who were very smart people, but didn't believe. They were not believers. That I would say, if you start with the wrong premise, you will always reach the wrong conclusion. And so everybody starts with a premise. And so Proverbs is telling us the premise that you need for wisdom, to where your starting point needs to be, that you understand it comes from God.
Yep.
So anyway, that was the map, and then we went into this coming week. But you were going to say.
Okay, so Proverbs 1 through 7. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, for learning wisdom and discipline, for understanding insightful sayings, for receiving prudent instruction in righteousness, justice, and integrity, for teaching shrewdness to the inexperienced, knowledge and discretion to a young man. Let a wise person listen and increase learning, and let a discerning person obtain guidance. For understanding proverb or a parable, the words of the wise and their riddles, And then the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. So 1 through 6 is the map itself, where it's going to take us and everything. And then 7, I like how you put it, is the key to the map. You know, and that's how you understand the rest of it.
Yeah.
It starts with that fear of the Lord.
Very cool. Yeah, and then also how it sets that up with, hey, this is about wisdom and discipline. And then it sets that up that fools despise wisdom and discipline. So if you want to be, it's like the opposite of this, to be a fool is to not apply either of those things. But yeah.
Which is true. If you want to be foolish, just do everything but this.
Right.
Yeah. And the one thing that had just struck me as reading it is there's parts for the young man, but there's also for the learned person as well, you know.
Yeah.
Because we need to be learning constantly through life, and watching out what we're learning, watching for the right stuff to learn, and the right people to put into our lives, which is what you talked about yesterday.
Yes.
And avoiding the wrong peoples.
Proper companions. Which, if we go farther down that Proverbs passage, it talks about that. Don't go down to the pit with those people. don't ambush anybody. Yeah.
Or the line that I was saying.
Oh yeah.
Can't soar with the eagles if you're running with the turkey.
That's right. Yeah, that one made me chuckle. I like that. I like that a lot.
It's an oldie. It's not for me. It's almost cliche, truthfully, but yeah, for sure. Well, I just, it's so important. I mean, it's important to emphasize the straightforward truth of that passage. And here's Solomon telling his son, because in his day, that was, we go, do I have kids that are going to, are there people hanging out with my son who's going to say, hey, come on, let's go kill people for fun and make money? Well, maybe in Aurora. But
sometimes one does one.
Yeah, I mean there are, I'm thinking for real the gang activity and stuff that was happening last year, and it was a lot of teenagers. So it's straightforward, pretty clear. So I mean, if you're ever fuzzy about whether that's something that God would want you to do or not, right. it's there. But I do think that there's such power in the fact that we're hearing about wisdom and how to make the right decisions and how to understand fully how to live this life, and the very first thing after that, who you're around. Let me give you a caution about the people around you. There is something to that. I don't want to overread into it, but I know that the weight of that truth is echoed throughout all the Proverbs too. Who's around you, who speaks into your life, who do you lock arms with.
The irony
can make a huge difference.
The irony is the guy that wrote it didn't listen to his own advice.
Yeah, right. Solomon.
Solomon started out really good, and then he surrounded himself with dumb people. All the elders come up to him and say, "Stop taxing people," and he's like, goes to his young fellas and goes, "Should I stop taxing people? No, raise the taxes." And do all this other stuff, and it just kind of went down.
Was that Solomon?
It was Solomon.
I thought that was Rehoboam.
Now you've got me questioning. I really feel like it could be.
Well, look that one up, friends.
I'll look that one up. Drop a comment.
But either way, a poor decision that came from
hanging out with the wrong
people that didn't have wisdom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Solomon in particular, his fatal flaw was lust. That was what that killed him. Lust was his thing. Because even as you go through Ecclesiastes and you begin to see how he begins to see the futility of things, I don't know wherein. I mean, we'll have to go through Ecclesiastes one day. It's great. But the truth of Solomon in his later days, he built these alliances with all these countries, but he did it by adding wives and concubines. And they were the ones who led him to, honey, I want to have a worship place for my God over here, and I need one over here. So the people he surrounded himself with were like his closest family he brought in, and listened to them rather than listening to the Lord too. So, anyway, lessons for us all. I did do a twist at the end, of course, and I'm not sure if I made that clear, so I'm glad we have this opportunity to talk about it. So I'm about to go into that unless you guys would like to.
Yeah, I felt it was pretty clear. So we should watch who we're getting counsel from, but we need to do like Jesus did and hang out with the sinners and the tax collectors, because they're the ones who need the that wisdom as well, and possibly more so than the folks that don't, but not everybody needs it. So,
well, it's about being the influencer instead of the influencee, right?
Exactly.
When it comes to people out there who don't know the Lord. So,
I think if you find yourself, like, if you go into those situations with the intent of spreading the word of God and you know, just being a kind and caring person versus walking in there going, oh, I don't want to get tempted. Like make that decision beforehand. You're going to go in there and you're going to be a positive influence to the world. And surround, you know, and help spread his life versus, you know, falling victim to the temptation, I guess, which can be very tricky for, I think, everybody given the situation.
You have to be wise, and that's the whole thing about that Proverbs is giving us this road of wisdom, is that if you, for example, you know, became an alcoholic, but you also have friends who are going to meet you at the bar for Saturday night, you're going to be out really late, probably not a smart thing.
Right.
Right. I mean, you can be a designated driver and then help them or something, but I mean, there's that tension. There's always this tension that we go into darkness, and again, we're talking kind of dramatic language here. I mean, these are friends, co-workers.
Right.
But spiritually, it's stepping into some darkness. And if we're not strong, we will allow ourselves to be kind of influenced. And that's the thing. Not too many people intentionally go and hang out with people for the express purpose of building relationship and talking about Jesus and stuff. Usually it's the other way around, right? It's like marginal Christians who are sort of committed but not really solid in their faith. They're not strong in their faith, and they are easily influenced by others, and so their witness is very weak in those situations and they fall. So yeah, that's the tension. It's like you want to be, you know, careful about who truly is speaking into your life and who's influencing you, and how long you're spending in those environments and with those people. And like, you know, you can truly be led astray and off track and get off road by surrounding yourself with the wrong people. Jesus always hung out with these people, but just like I often say, Jesus meets us wherever we are, but he never wants us to stay the way we are. That is a key difference, right? Jesus did eat with sinners and tax collectors, but he called them out of it.
Right.
But he was not, you know, but he loved them enough to be in their mess with them a little bit. He himself didn't get the mess, right? He was the one who was loving them in spite of their mess and inviting them forward. And that's I think, the heart that we need to have. I think about the Pharisees, and that's what I was mentioning on Sunday, that I think, you know, in fairness to the Pharisees, when they saw Jesus eating with these people, it wasn't because they were judgmental. We found that out pretty early. They were very hard-hearted, very judgmental, and very overly religious. But I can give them a little bit of a pass on their first reaction, because if they knew the proverb, you know, don't sit with, you know, at the seat of the scoffer, and then sit with fools and with the sinners. And it's this idea of wanting to be pure and holy. And so you guys hear my stomach growling?
I did.
It's all that talk from earlier. All that food talk. It's time to eat dinner. Let's wrap this thing up. So we're eating with sinners. Oh my!
It's unavoidable.
What we say.
Yeah.
But anyway, he would always he would sit with them, he would eat with them, and he would love them. But he wouldn't. They didn't influence him. It was the other way around.
Right. Absolutely.
Right. And so, I honestly, a person I think who did this really well over the years, a national figure that a lot of people would know, or at least would have known a few years ago, is the evangelist Billy Graham. You can find these on YouTube, and I just think it's hilarious and awesome. Here's a recording with Woody Allen on some talk show, and there's Billy Graham, and he's talking. You know, Billy Graham's sitting talking with Woody Allen, who does not believe at all, and is very much an atheist, and was even in the '60s or whatever this was. But some of those clips, I mean, he's like Billy Graham would always, even in those environments, he was friends with these entertainers and stuff. But he would always direct them to Jesus.
Yeah.
Every time, even if it was awkward and weird and there's a crowd, watching, he would always do it. And you could always tell he loved and cared for the person he was talking to. It's like, well, God loves you.
Yeah.
He loves you, Woody, because he wants to have a relationship.
I've listened to a few of his old stuff that are on YouTube. I love it. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah. He did a good job with
Yeah.
that. He was actually on the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast one time. I don't know if you guys know what that is, back from the 70s or whatever. They would have all of these comedians. Well, one time Billy Graham was on that one. Dude, you are truly succeeding here. And he didn't compromise either while he was there. But anyway, I think it's sort of the heart of what we're talking about there.
But yeah, and how he did it was he put up the appropriate guardrails.
Yeah, the guardrails are
on
there.
the road that he was traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So, to mix two metaphors, thinking of your guardrails.
Hey, that's right, yeah, from our relationships, marriage series. Oh, yeah.
So, but that same thing was there. They call it the Billy Graham rule of being very careful about how you're approaching other people and whatnot. And so, you've got to have a plan in place to be able to do what you need to do with those folks that you're ministering to.
Now, I love this too, because I read about this just recently. We call it the Billy Graham rule, but here's the thing. It was an agreement with him and some other pastors and people on his team. I think just agreed to set a list of standards that they would hold to when they would travel, what they would do, wouldn't do, to keep them above reproach. It's going above and beyond, and they definitely did that. And I think that served him well and kept it from scandal, and that a lot of guys have messed up along the way. So
yep, we've seen what happens when you don't put in those.
That's right.
guardrails.
That's so true,
and it's unfortunate.
And we're talking about people who are pastors, evangelists, and stuff like that, and yet these principles from Scripture are for anyone who would follow the Lord too. So, yeah, good stuff, guys. What else about that? Anything for Sunday? How about you guys? Somebody on a chair. Oh, I got to tell you this. I got to say this. I know I'm talking a lot, but I just love this. You need to see. In fact, you know what? If you got a phone, pull this up. Go to compassdenver.com. And you at home, you play at home, you can play this game as well. Go to compassdenver.com and then click on Watch. And just look at the thumbnail from Sunday's
I get
gathering.
the idea where this is going.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is that?
Just wait till you see the photo. It should make you laugh.
You'll have to edit
Right, so you'll have to go to the left and then click on Watch. And it's you see Watch?
I'm almost there. It's loading watch right now.
Loading Watch.
I'd say you're pulling my leg, but you're pulling my arm.
All right, okay, let's let you pull this up too.
I don't know. What do we got?
Oh, the image isn't there yet. Wait, here it is. It's coming. All right, it's taking a minute. Oh, we should have told you the Wi-Fi here. It would have downloaded a lot faster. You know what? Does it not look like Bob has just lifted you up by the neck?
What's going on?
I should have like a scared look on my face instead of smiling. Yeah.
I might just put that picture right here. Boom. In the podcast. Boom. Anyway, it was a good day. Anyhow, we were very much down in our physical attendance, but I literally counted, Leo and I counted 20 people just like that who were unable to be there Sunday.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. But
20 people gone, but we were still okay.
it was
Good interactions.
and had some good conversations. Luis keeps on coming around, which is great.
He may be watching this. Keep up the good work, my friend. His daughter, Shanice, I think she's in Puerto Rico.
She was coming back from Puerto Rico that day, going to Florida to visit some family. She just turned 18, so she was doing that for her birthday and stuff. And then also just checking out what Fiona had done to Puerto Rico here recently. So,
right.
Yeah. So, but
that's right.
They've got because they've got family in Puerto Rico and in Florida, I assume. That's why she's there. So. Okay.
Well, we probably get wrapped this up.
Yeah, we're 34 minutes. So getting close.
Hey. Well, okay. Well, we don't have much time to talk, but we did do our final,
Did
mostly
garden
final
cleanup.
garden cleanup.
Yes.
And I'm going to eat some of those vegetables tonight. Again, if not tonight, it's maybe tomorrow night. But yeah, we're getting ready.
Got
We're looking
the
at
zucchini club.
Yeah.
the world champion zucchini.
The big one. I've got that at home. We're determining how we're going to carve it. But we will.
Measure it.
Yeah.
Take photos of it.
We'll document
before
the
you
size
do
and everything.
anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just put on their compass garden.
That's I'm gonna absolutely carve into it. Compass church or compass garden.
Oh, that's right, for Halloween decorations.
But we got a ton of herbs that I'm gonna dry out. We're gonna we'll have a bunch of packages. People can just take some herbs and spices with them
So good.
after Sundays, which will be.
Glad I was trimming them along the way, and because we got a couple, but you can't say you got a couple bags of herbs at home in Colorado without it. I swear it's thyme and rosemary. And
Rosemary.
oregano.
And sage and rosemary and oregano.
Mary Jane is not there. Just
no.
rosemary.
We weren't allowed to grow that at the garden, so that's.
We can't grow it.
Yeah. No, we got a fair amount of corn. How'd they? Did you
The
guys?
corn, not yet. No, it's coming.
No, okay.
If I had more time, I would have thrown a couple in the pots.
I'm very curious how you guys are gonna like those, because the ones you got were pretty good looking ears. So that
true.
should be.
I'm kind of bad taking the big
Excited.
ones, but
Yeah, no. All those smaller ones we'll do something fun with them at home. So yeah, got a ton of stuff. I'm glad it's cleaned up. We can start planning for next year. Do we want to do garlic? That's really the only decision we have to make at this point.
Good. They'll keep the werewolves and
yeah.
vampires away.
Yeah.
Garlic.
Could just plant like 3,000 garlic and just take the whole
Nice.
thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Have a bunch of garlic braids at the end of the year.
All right.
Nice.
I think we've now reached the end.
Yep.
So,
There is one last thing. All of this comes out from John 3:16. Talk about awkward.
That's right.
Awkward
yeah,
references to-
there's no segue into it, but it is what we're all about. John 3:16. Who would like to say it tonight? You did it last time.
Okay.
Jake, you
For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life.
Amen to that. That's why we're here. Thank you for quoting that so eloquently. Well, all right, guys. Hopefully, we'll see Tracy maybe next time.
Yeah, should. He's
Back from all of his,
His cruising
his
adventures.
cruising adventures.
It's a long cruise.
It's a lot of cruising. All right. Well, anywho, okay. Well, before we go to final words. I'm sorry to say. Final words is what I was trying to say.
Okay, I guess. How are we gonna do this? Because, yeah.
Hey, it's all right. We'll figure that out in a second.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. We'll say we meet every week somewhere in the world, but always online. And you can find us in Facebook by searching for Compass Church Colorado, and you can discover more at compassdenver.com. And we would love to have you as our guest this Sunday. All right, final words.
Love you guys. Love everybody out there. And this has been great.
Likewise.
Grace and peace to you. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out.
Wait, like and subscribe.
Like, subscribe, ring that bell,
Thumbnail
do
down
that
below.
thing. Oh yeah,
I figured I'd
yeah.
use Tracy's line. It's like
Yeah, you did it. It's perfect. Perfect.